All right, now, in light of the recent Code Geass Season 3 announcement, I decided to finally watch the Code Geass Akito OVAs, and that's what this video here is going to be about. My review/reaction for the 5-episode OVA that came out years ago that for some reason I'm only watching now, but actually it was because I remember I watched the first 2 episodes when they came out initially, but I did not watch fucking episodes 3, 4, and 5 until last weekend because the release schedule was whack as fuck. I don't remember if there was any fucking delays or anything like that, but anyway, here you go. Here's my hot take on Akito. Not too bad, honestly. As far as side OVAs go, it's pretty decent, I think. I'd say this is my general take on it. The first 2 episodes, pretty good. Three and 4, not as good, but still solid, especially given that they gave us some fan service I'm going to go into later. And episode 5, like, I don't know, my boy Dirty D told me, he was like, yo man, episode 5 is disgusting. I fucking hate episode 5. You don't even need to watch episode 5, man. Episode 5 is worse than anything I've ever seen out of Geass. I'm sitting here like, damn, worse than the fucking worse than the first, like, I guess, 14 episodes of R2, because that was probably like the worst part of R2. But actually, final episode wasn't too bad, you know, all that love, friendship stuff saves the day, but, I mean, it's a side OVA. But anyway, yeah, I'll get to my thoughts on specific things I actually like. The Suzaku swag. The Suzaku swag is by far the most hilarious thing in fucking Akito because you have all the side shit going on, you know, with the characters of the side story doing all this shit. And they would randomly switch over to Suzaku and not Lelouch, who he's currently watching over. And every fucking scene, those two people are in the same fucking room together or whatever. He's always like, oh, Suzaku, please, give me water. I need water. And Suzaku's just like, the fuck? I ain't getting you shit, son. And, you know, initially I was like, well, if this guy isn't Lelouch, he's treating him like shit because, you know, he looks like him. But he actually, of course, to absolutely no one's surprise, like episode 3 or 4, it's revealed that Kingsley is actually a brainwashed version of Lelouch. He just brainwashed Lelouch, who was brainwashed by his dad, I guess, in the same way he was brainwashed in R2. But now, see, this is what confuses me, right? Like, okay, I was pretty sure that for the entirety of that year that Lelouch wasn't there, or that Lelouch wasn't Zero. He was at school, brainwashed into being a normal nerd, being watched over by Rolo. But also at the end of the OVA, they kind of show Rolo showing up as like a guy who works for, you know, the Emperor, obviously. And he's like, yes, well, you know, it's time. I forgot what he said, but he basically, it basically hooks into R2, and I thought it was pretty cool. But it makes me confused because I thought Lelouch was there for the entire year. Now, depending on how long this whole Kingsley shit was, and I'm not exactly sure, because I'm not sure how long Akito took or what exactly the timeline was for Akito, especially since I was loaded as fuck when I was watching that shit. But I don't know. I mean, whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. You could just say, well, he was Kingsley for 2 weeks, and then he became normal student Lelouch again, so his dad gave him the double brainwash. Whatever, fuck it. Anyway, that was kind of cool, and it also gave us more, there was some nice fan service in episode 3, I thought, with the whole, or episode 4, I forget which episode it was, but I'm pretty sure it was 3, maybe 4. Not too sure. But I know that there's anyway, there's whatever episode where Suzaku gets into the CG landslide and starts fucking slaughtering motherfuckers. I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, it's always fun to see Lancelot in action. As much as you may fucking hate Suzaku, and I actually do not hate Suzaku, I think he's a well-written rival character because he comes off as a generic Gary Stu, and it actually turns out he's arguably one of the most fucked up characters in the show. And Akito even proves this. But anyway, before we get to that, that was cool. He gave us a little bit of action. For fuck's sake, can Suzaku be stopped? This guy is actually Kira Yamato 2.0. This guy is in Akito in episode 4 or whatever. He's like caught off guard by like 5 nightmare frames because the main villain shows up and he's here to kill Kingsley, who he's pretty much figured out is Zero, which, I mean, yeah. He figures it out, and the Suzaku gets triggered, and he's not about it, and then all of a sudden, 5 nightmare frames storm the motherfucking place, and I'm like, well, Suzaku's not even in Lancelot. What's he gonna do? And I was expecting some super acrobatic bullshit to get him way out of there. That's exactly what he did. This motherfucker flipped up in slow motion, took out his fucking keys, like a fucking car, like his car key for his fucking car, pressed a button, Lancelot came into that bitch, he did like another triple flip into the cockpit or some shit, and proceeded to dunk people. And that's what I love to see. But the only thing is, nobody shot at this guy. You know, we were doing gymnastics and shit. I guess everybody was just so shocked by the unbelievability of it all. They were just sitting there like, what the fuck is this guy doing these African gymnastics up in this bitch before he flips into his goddamn nightmare frame? But anyway, they of course revealed that Lelouch, after he kicks everybody out, after Suzaku kicks everybody's ass, but for some reason doesn't, like, I guess the main villain was still sticking around near Lelouch, and for some reason he doesn't kill him, even though he says he was going to. He has a gun at his face, and Lelouch is having a mental breakdown about who he is, and he's obviously Lelouch because he calls out Natalie's name, and you get to see his Geass in his left eye, and I was like, okay. But it just makes me wish that this was like an actual 2D rather than 3D CG, but, you know, it is what it is. Akito, the characters, see, I guess I neglected to talk about this so far because the characters, I guess, aren't really all that interesting. They're not really all that great, especially when you compare it to the original cast and everything. The main character is basically like kind of like another version of Suzaku. He's like another Japanese guy who has a fucked up background with his family and he wants to die and he has a Geass power that makes him want to kill other people. And that was kind of weird. I mean, I was fine with it. But I was expecting like the whole plotline with his brother to probably be like a little less cringe than it actually was. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it just turned out to be like another version of Sasuke and fucking Itachi from Naruto. Oh, I killed you, brother. I killed our entire clan, my brother. But I didn't kill you, even though I wanted to. There's some things I don't get about Akito, right? Like, he gave him the command to die, but then he didn't die, but I guess he used that to fuel his desire to kill other people. I don't know, but he did the whole thing where he, like, uses the Sharingan, Geass, on his younger brother, and he's like, well, I can't leave you alive either, blah, 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 but he doesn't kill him. And then it turns out he just wanted to kill his brother to save him from the ugliness of the world, which is a really big excuse. I mean, damn, all the world sucks. So I'm gonna make sure I kill my brother who's like 8 years old or something. I'm sure he'll understand. But anyway, that was weird. The main villain was kind of not that great, but there were cool parts. And I'd say my favorite battle in episode 2 was probably that fucking large-scale battle where Akito activates his Geass for the first time and he affects his team members and they all kind of go into like a kill craze mode where they go around killing everything in sight. That was pretty cool. And there was a cool fight in episode 4 too, maybe 3. I really don't remember the order because I kind of just like sped through it. I remember episode 1 and 2 in terms of order, but not the other ones. But basically, the power of friendship saved everything before R2, and the whole relationship between him and the main girl, I don't really care about it. But I mean, you can't, I kind of get it because you can only do so much with fucking 5 episodes and all those characters, but, you know, also with fucking cameos. Oh, and the main girl actually, I was wondering what C2's cameo was gonna be, but the main girl meets C2 and C2's like, well, here's your Geass power, but because you're underage and the contract isn't complete, what? You can do the incomplete contract with Geass now? Okay, whatever, fuck it. I'm not gonna think too deeply into this. All I know is that C2 showed up and she gave the girl like a power, but only if she decided to use it would it ever be activated. So now she uses it in the final episode to like link everybody's consciousness together, and I'm thinking, well, maybe that's something we should go into, but I guess there's no time. But it kind of pays off in that way because season 3 has the Akito characters in it. At the very least, the 2 main characters. What did I neglect to talk about that I wanted to talk about? I know there's something on the tip of my tongue, but fuck it, I guess it's probably not important. Wait, give me a second here. No, it's not. All I know is that it was pretty average, pretty solid. I mean, for a side OVA, I guess I wouldn't really ask for much. If it all came out at the same time, which would not happen because that's not how OVAs work. But if it all came out at the same time and I just was able to enjoy it like I did like last weekend, I'd probably be like a lot more lenient on a score rather than if I had to wait like, you know, years and shit for the thing to come out, which was the initial thing. But I'm glad I rewatched it. I'm glad I waited for the episodes to come out and I rewatched it in its orderly fashion. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Akito. It's all right, and it's got me in the Geass mood now, so I'm hoping for Geass season 3. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, at the very least, considering it's Taniguchi, my boy, I should be entertained. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Akito.